Hey, what's up YouTube? Welcome to my review of the Victorinox Hercules. This is a great Swiss knife. You're at the We All Juggle Knives channel, by the way. Let's go through the tool set and then we'll do stuff with this. Yes, that's me welcoming you, waving to you. What's up? Welcome viewers, subscribers. Alright, so this has a spear point blade, stainless steel with a side lock. Yes, it's a locking blade. That's the lock release right there. It also has a wood saw. We will definitely be demonstrating that later in the video. It's got two openers, bottle opener, can opener with screwdriver ends. It's got a corkscrew for all your uncorking needs. It's got a reamer and an awl for punching holes in leather or drilling holes in wood or other substances. It's got scissors and small pliers. Very useful. Underneath those it has two Phillips screwdrivers. It has some tweezers in one of the handle scales, and in the other handle scale is a toothpick. It also has a key ring. This is one of the thicker and heavier Swiss knives. You can see the thickness there, but in return for carrying that extra weight and extra volume, this does give you a lot of tools. Alright, let's do stuff. No rest for the wicked. Right, some food prep. There's your apple a day. Now usually Swiss knife blades are pretty good for food prep because being fairly thin and very sharp, they're kind of like a kitchen utility knife or even a paring knife, right? So very good for food prep. Now this knife review was actually made possible by the generosity of one of my longtime viewers, longtime subscriber. He actually donated his own knife to be reviewed, right? So I thought that was awesome of him. I'm not going to out him publicly by name, but dude, you know who you are. Definitely big thank you to you for donating your knife to be reviewed. All right, it kicked the ass of that apple. Let's try something a little bit harder. Going to draw it down this piece of dry scrap firewood. So yeah, this Swiss knives are good for all your bushcraft and whittling needs as well. You see, look at the big slivers of that dry wood that it's taking off, bringing that to a point. If you need to carve things, carve a steak or something like that, or a skewer for your campfire. Right, Victorinox got you. They got you covered for sure. But I definitely love Swiss knives. You know, all of us have probably seen pretty much every fold-out tool on a Swiss knife demonstrated dozens of times because there's so many videos out there. And one thing I asked myself, why do I keep watching videos about Swiss knives when I've already seen, you know, that can opener, I've seen it work 50 times in different videos. I think the answer is that Swiss knife videos, the whole topic just tends to make people happy. It's one of those brands, like Victorinox is one of those brands, kind of like Mora or kind of like a USMC K-bar, just very classic. It can remind people of their childhoods sometimes. And people also really like to see the Swiss knives taken out and actually used. That's, you know, when that part of the video, it's like, oh shit, cut that wood, bro, cut that wood. Now, but it's seriously... yeah, people do like them used because they're also collectible, so two ways to enjoy the knives. Alright, so you saw just very good for woodwork and all your whittling needs. The saw is a must-have for me, like in an outdoor Swiss knife, the saw, I have to have the saw. Alright, so there I'm going to make some stop cuts, but the saw can be used for so many things, including it'll lightsaber through like soft little saplings, and it'll even go through thicker branches as well. You can also use the saw to make grooves, to make stop cuts, for notching, so it's pretty useful for bushcraft and general woodwork. But speaking of Swiss knife reviews, yeah, they do tend to get a lot of views, and hey, as long as you want to watch, I will be happy to demonstrate as many different models as I can, right? Alright, a little more blade work. We're going to connect those two grooves, make a notch. But yeah, I'd be happy to continue demonstrating different models of Swiss knife. I've already done reviews of, let's see, I did the Farmer X, I did the Fieldmaster, the Ranger, the Outrider. So definitely, if you enjoy Swiss knives, consider subscribing to my channel. Although I have to warn you, I do sometimes review other types of knife, including scary looking knives. Remember, I do FMA, Filipino martial arts, so you might see some scary curved looking blades and karambits, right? So if you don't like weapon knives, I don't know. But yeah, if you like Swiss knives, I got plenty of them coming up. Alright, made in notch. Awesome. Here it is on paper. Gotta defend yourself against paper. And that is a beautiful sound. Alright, maybe not the most practical test, but I'd be worried if it, like, couldn't do that, you know what I'm saying? Here is another use of the saw. The back of the saw is actually great for generating sparks on a fire steel. Right, and that is my favorite fire steel you've seen in many videos. I always include a link to that if you want one. But there you see, making a lot of sparks. Those are some whittling shavings. And those shavings are in a boat made of birch bark. Right, birch bark has a lot of oil in it. And once that bark starts going, it burns. Look how it burns, right? We all probably played around with some birch bark when we were younger. Hopefully you were safe. I was, but yeah. Here's the Reamer. Now the Reamer is a hand drill. I did speed this footage up a bit because drilling a hole by hand takes a little bit of time. In fact, I think whoever invented the Reamer probably was also the inventor of the power tools and a power drill, right? Because it does take a while. But you can... I like to use the Reamer, I mean, I do a lot of woodwork, so it's pretty useful to me. See, there you go. Right, after a little while it poked through. So the Reamer does work well to drill holes, and it can also punch leather. The Hercules has some Victorinox scissors, and we are going to cut a variety of materials with them. First up, we have plastic bindings that were around a package I got, and it does an excellent job at cutting those plastic bindings. You can also just use it to cut paper if you're in an office somewhere, right? Though a lot of offices are going paperless, but back in the day we had paper. Alright, this is a heavy-duty nylon strap material, not unlike a seat belt type of thing, and it does an excellent job on this tough material as well. So if it became necessary, you could even cut someone free from a safety harness or out of a backpack. Next up, we've got some Paracord, right? And I buy my Paracord in bulk. I'll include a link. 1001 uses for Paracord if you're a prepper, right? But it does very well on Paracord. You don't even have to hold it from the Paracord from both ends, right? So it just kills it on this test. And I gotta say, these scissors do a lot better than the scissors on my Wave could do at the same test. So excellent scissors on this. The Hercules also has some small pliers. Someone wanted to know if they are precise enough that you could use them as tweezers. Well, first of all, ouch, but yes, they are precise enough. Right, they have a lot of uses. Even though they are small pliers, they still open. They can open relatively wide. That's as wide as they open, so they can. You can get them around a lot of different things, like that, for example. There's a lot of things on a bicycle that you can adjust with these pliers, and so you can turn something or hold it in place like so. Right, but you can also use the pliers to reach in and grip and grab things. Here's my Stanley utility knife with snap-off blades, and we got a dull, rusty blade section there, and you can snap those right off with those pliers. Right, so pretty useful for their size. Definitely. Also, a lot of people in IT have told me they use those little pliers for little repairs. And now underneath the pliers and scissors, you've got 2 Phillips screwdrivers, and then you have 2 more screwdrivers at the ends of the openers, right? So 4 screwdrivers. I'm just going to demonstrate a couple. All right, we're going to use this to unscrew the screw on the battery compartment there. Yeah, this extra long Phillips is actually a real nice screwdriver. It's got some reach on it, right? So a better screwdriver than most you'll see on Swiss knives. And there you go. It took out that little screw. It just happens to fit that screw. All right, and this is actually a retro console. You can let me know if you want me to do a little review of that, but it's a great time killer. right? It's got Super Mario and some old school games. Alright, so that's a pivot screw on my Emerson Persian, and we're going to use another of the screwdrivers to just screw that back in. Now that is an Emerson Persian, and Emersons are designed so you can adjust the pivot screw out in the field with just a coin, right? So a flat head will work well for that, right? Not too tight, not too loose, testing it out. Little too loose, gonna adjust it further. Alright, but you also gotta love the blade profile on that Persian because it is a slicer and a piercer. Now this does also have a corkscrew, a can opener, and a bottle opener. I'm not going to demonstrate those because I don't want the video to be too long, and I've already demonstrated some of those in previous videos. So if you want to see those food service tools in action, check out some of my older videos or any of the other videos here on YouTube. Alright, some useful comparisons. We've got the Victorinox Hunter, the one-hand Trekker, the Outrider, the Hercules, and the Work Champ, right? Similar lengths, but now look at the differences in thickness. You got those first two, relatively thin and easy to carry. Then you got the Outrider in the middle, and on the other side you got the Hercules and the Work Champ, which are thick. They are thick. They are big boys. All right, and again here we have a closer look at the Outrider, the Hercules, and the Work Champ. So you definitely have a lot of options to consider. I have seen a lot of reviews by bushcrafters of the Hercules. They seem to really like the Hercules. I've also heard from a lot of technicians and repairmen that say that they like the Work Champ. And if you don't need the small pliers, then a lot of people do go with the Outrider. But the Hercules, just very useful and definitely a model to strongly consider as an outdoors blade. Alright, in the text description box I will have useful links for you, a lot of different Swiss knives in all different categories for easy reference. You can shop around and think to yourself, you know, what is the next acquisition for your collection? A lot of, I know Swiss knife enthusiasts, they always have in mind what their next acquisition will be. Yeah, I see you. So you can shop around in the text description box and fill up any holes in your collection. Yeah, I can't believe you haven't bought the Alox Electrician yet. What's wrong with you? No, just kidding. But yeah, you can shop around there. I'll also include useful links, like for example, the work gloves that I use, my Deluxe Fire Steel, Paracord in bulk, and that sort of thing. Please try to use those links. Those do help support the channel and just keep the ball rolling. Alright, I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you're a fan of Swiss knives and you like videos like this where I give you information about the item while demonstrating some of its functions, feel free to subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Alright, this has been We All Juggle Knives. I'm out.